So I decided to break out on my own and do this supplemental video configuring SSH. I know absolutely nothing about it, so let's see what we can learn. Alright, so the object here is to view the default internet work configuration, enable SSH, and interconnect using SSH. Looks like from our thing everything's working, so let's see what kind of damage we can do. Traditionally, remote administrative access on routers was configured using Telnet on TCP port 23. However, Telnet was developed in the days when security was not an issue. For this reason, all Telnet traffic is forwarded in plain text. SSH has replaced Telnet as the best practice for providing remote router administration with connections that support strong privacy and session integrity. Isn't it a shame that we've had to develop our technology to the point because everything's trying to be hacked? SSH uses port TCP/22. It provides functionality that is similar to that of an outbound Telnet connection, except that the connection is encrypted. With authentication and encryption, SSH allows for secure communications over an insecure network. In this configuration, 4 routers are interconnected in a hub and spoke frame relay configuration. As we can see, we've got one over here, and these ones, these switches, and these routers. And there's the cloud. Okay, so router 1 is the hub. Here we have, that's the hub. And routers 2, 3, and 4 are the spokes. Dynamic routing has been configured using multi-area OSPF. So our task 1 is to view the default configuration. Verify the frame relay configuration on the routers. On all 4 routers, use exec mode with the password Cisco. Enter privileged exec mode. From the privileged exec mode on all 4 routers, issue the frame relay map command. Alright, so we're going to take a peek at this here. Enable turns on privileged commands. So I'm hoping that that's the only one that we need. Alright, so we're going to go into router 1. Hit enter. And we're going to enable password Cisco. Boop. I put that in there. Okay, with the password Cisco. Let's give it a second and see if it'll allow me to do this. Okay, and put you on pause and find out how come I can't type. Okay, so it doesn't actually type out anything. Just go ahead and put your little magic words in there, and there you go. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. So we're going to put that right here. See if we can. 2, I got to go. And 3. Enable Cisco. There we go. And number 4. Enable. All right, number 4. Now it wants us to enter privileged exec mode with the password Cisco. Let's try that and see what we can end up with there. Okay, we might be there and maybe not. So we want to issue the show frame dash relay map and hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to see if we can somehow put all 4 of these up here. That's 4. Here's 3. There's 2, and there's 1. So let's try to get all of them on here. All right, so we did that. So we're going to do this on, we should really just copy and paste, shouldn't we? So show frame relay. Copy and paste won't work. Okay. I think I saw something else done, but I don't know what that is. Oh, that's interesting. That's number 2. Show frame relay map. Show frame relay map. Thank you for being here while I talk to myself. Okay, so this is interesting. And verify the frame relay connectivity. Well, this is interesting. On number 1, we can go to 2, 3, and 4. On number 2, we can just go back to 1. On number 3, we can go to 1 and 4, but it doesn't look like you can go to 2. And on number 4, you can go to 1 and 3, but it looks like you can't go to number 2. So number 2 doesn't have any, doesn't look like it's connected with 3 and 4 at all, only 1. That's interesting. Okay, so verify the routing tables. Issue the show IP route command to verify that all network segments are being advertised. So let's go into that and do show IP route. That's for number 2. Show IP route. Let's try to do these in order, huh? Show IP route and show IP route. We want to verify all network segments are being advertised. So I have a lot of codes. Okay. Here these are showing directly connected. Here's our number 1 is directly connected to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 2 is directly connected to 1. Number 3 doesn't show, there's directly connected to 1 and to 4, Ethernet 00, and 1 and 4, which is information that we knew before. So all network segments are being advertised. I'm not familiar with those terms, but it looks good. So verify connectivity between routers. So from R1, ping the LAN interfaces to verify connectivity. Okay, so I am assuming here that on number 1, we can see that we're directly connected to these, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can ping these numbers. Oh good, we have more than 2 seconds to figure this out. Reply to request. All right, let's see what else it says. Ping on the 10, 0, 1, 4. See if they look the same. The thing here is that they all say from. Reply to request 0 from, 1 from, 2 from, 3 from, for from. So they and it shows us time. So it appears that they're going through. Let's see, that was, whoops, I was reading other information here. So the 1, 4, and 1, 8. 1, 8 is number 4. Okay. 1, 8. Sending 5 echoes. Sending 5. Okay, it doesn't really give us that it's completed, but it does give us time. So reply to request. Okay. Now remember, this one is only directly connected to router 1, so okay. So let's move this out of the way for a second. Router, and it's going to a switch. Telnet, okay, let's try telnet to router 2, which is router 2 is right there, 10.0.1.0. All right, let's open. Ooh, that's cool. Okay. Exit and repeat the steps for router 3 and router 4. Okay. So ping. Oh. User access. Oh, telnet. Okay. So we're just pinging these, and it's connected to 12. Well, that's very interesting too, because those are going to 13 when I'm putting in 12. Okay. So enable and configure SSH on router 1. All right. So to enable SSH, let's close all these. To enable SSH on the router, the following parameters must be configured: hostname, domain name, asymmetrical keys, and local authentication. So A, the host name on router 1 is pre-configured, therefore configure the domain name cisco.com using the IP domain name command. So IP domain name let's see what we get here. Okay, doesn't like that, so it's a possibility that we don't need it. doubled like it says. That's just how I read it incorrectly. Okay. So let's try going into the configure part. Let's do configure terminal. All right. IP domain name incomplete command. Okay. Okay, we're going to try the asymmetrical RSA keys must be generated on R1 using the crypto key generate RSA. All right. When prompted for the modulus size, specify a modulus of 1024 bits. Okay. SSH will prompt for a username and password combination when enabled. Therefore, a local username database entry must be configured using the username name password username name password command. Create a local account for the user administration and passcode Cisco. Okay, so let's use the username name. Oops. Okay. User name password. Let's see if that works. Incomplete command. So username name password username name. Okay, I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to put you on pause and go find out. Okay, so in my Cisco iOS supported commands, I have found that in the global mode, it looks like we can create users. Where'd that go? Username here. That's something we can do in the global mode. So what we need to figure out is how to get into the global mode. So it looks like we have if we have the router and we do a question mark, then we should be able to get there. So let's try that. Aha! Now, so none of these session automation, bugging, delete a file. Okay. Oh, look at that. I guessed that right. Telnet connection. Haha. Good deal. Okay, so I do not see anything. Oops, I don't want to do that. I don't think. So I'm not sure if I need to exec level automation. Let's try that one. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. And let's see if any of this takes. Let's try this. Let's try how to get into global mode. Entering global configuration mode. All right. So, let's see. Okay, it'll take me a few minutes to figure this out until entering global configuration mode. Right, enable password, configure terminal. And we have the configure. We're back to that. There we go. Okay. Configure terminal. Aha! Now, username, name. Okay, username, name, password. That's incomplete. Username, name, password, password. Okay, well, that's interesting. So either username, name, or username, password, password seem to fit. So let's go back to this and back to iOS, and down here in global, global mode, which I did not know meant that. Here in the username, word. Okay, so username, word. Username, password, 7-word. Have no clue. Okay, so let's try. Our information is to create a local account for the user, admin, and password Cisco. So I don't know if it's doing anything there. Okay, that's incorrect. Okay. Username, name, create. A local username database entry must be configured using the username password command. Okay, still not sure. So I'm going to put you on pause again. By the way, I'd like to reiterate that I cannot find anything in the back of our book in the index for usernames, so I don't know how to create that. So I will look under various things, see if I can find something in our book that has something to do with something. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so I may have found something. Just to show you, I asked in Google, how do I create a new user in CLI in Cisco PT? And I ended up with this page that gives me some very good information. So I'm going to try to follow it. Let's see what happened to that information. Configuring users. Here we go. Okay, so we're on router 1. So we're going to try Alright, so we need to enable. Somehow we got out of that to get into. Alright, and then we want to configure terminal. So we have the config. Alright, so now it looks like we can put in user name admin. This note says that it creates or updates the user account along with a password. So password, and they want us to name it Cisco. Create a local account for user admin and password Cisco. Alright, so username, admin, password Cisco. And this also has information to expire, but we're not going to worry about that. Okay, so we're going to hope that that has done something. So configure the SSH version using the IP SSH version command. In this lab, we'll be configuring to use version 2. So let's go ahead and try that now. So one of the difficult parts here is that these are not highlighted, and so I'm not totally sure. Oh, that's what that means. Okay, username, name, that was the admin, password, and then we put the Cisco in there. Got it. Now I understand. Okay, well, after much research and time, we figured it out. So let's see. Now we are the IP, here we are, IP SSH version. IP SSH version. So I expect it like you ask a question, okay, and you know, you get some sort of confirmation back. So let's see if that just works. Okay, that seemed to work. Version 2. So next we need to disable Telnet and enable SSH communication to the VTY lines. To do so, enter the following commands on R1. So we're going to number line VTY. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Here we go. Oh. Okay. Line VTY 04. No transport input all. Transport input SSH. Login local. Let's hope I did that right. End. Configured from console to console. Great. Save the configuration. Not sure how to do that. Let's put that on hold now. Okay, so there's a possibility that I can save this. Doesn't look like it has to be in the config. And we do this by copy, running config, startup dash config. So copy running config, startup config, and hit enter. Destination file name. Oh boy, don't know what to do here, so we'll just call it open and we'll write it down. Oh, okay. So copying nivram open invalid argument. Okay. So let's see. Your completion percentage should be 25%. Okay, I'm at 21% because I haven't saved it yet. So where should I save it to? Your configuration is now saved to non-volatile RAM. Okay, but it didn't tell me that it was going to ask for a destination file name. So what do we do there? Copy, running, config, startup, config. Okay, I'm going to put it on pause and see if I can figure out what is the answer to this question. Destination file name. Okay, so I found this little ditty here. This guy is asking, when would I ever want to specify a different destination file name here? I thought that when the Cisco device powers up, it only looks at the startup config file. And the answer here is you can copy to flash startup-config as well. When the router blows up, the NVRAM with the real startup config goes with it. The engineer arrives with a brand new router but no config. You take the flash from the old router and insert it in the new router. Boot and then copy flash startup config, and reboot. Okay, so we're going to copy that. So you can save it to the TFTP server if you do not like flash. Since I don't know what that is, we will go ahead and see if flash startup config invalid. Okay, copy, running, config, destination building configuration. Okay, all right, so we just put it in the startup configuration. Yay. Okay, so back to what we're doing here. We're right here. Save the configuration, and look, we're only on step 2. Check the results. Your completion should be 25%. Well, it's not. It's 21%. So I did not do something yet. Check if not, check results to see which required components are not yet completed. The activity is incomplete. Try again. Okay, so it has to do, required items is 28 and I only have 6. Oh, because, okay, we didn't create an IP domain name. Okay, and those other things we sort of checked. Transport, let's see what this says. Transport input. Okay, got it. All right. Boop. So, but we do kind of understand what's going on here. And router 1. And, uh-oh, did I get rid of that? Oh. There we go. Okay. And router 1. All right. So we understand sort of what's going on here. Repeat the steps from task 2 on routers 2, 3, and 4. Okay. In the essence of time, because this seems to be really long, I'm going to go back and verify the routing tables. So that looks like the part that I might be missing. So I'm going to put you on hold and I'm going to work with my other routers. Okay, I'm working on each router, and one of the things that I want to point out is that in this pinging part, when we go to the show IP all, we see that we are directly connected to 10.0.1.4 and 10.0.1.12. And when we go ahead to ping that, pinging the 10.0.1.4, it goes to here to 5 automatically. And when I do 12, it's going to 14. So I don't know if I'm properly doing this or not doing it. It doesn't really ever say that it's like complete. So to be honest, I'm a little confused by this pinging thing. Just thought I'd put that in. Okay, so I'm getting pretty handy dandy at this. So I thought I'd show you with router 4. So here's router 4 right here. We're going to go back up here. You can see that I've done 2 and 3, although there's something I need to do for number 2. And so we're going to go back up here. So here's where we're working. So we want to get into exec mode by doing enable. All right. We want to issue the show. Whoops, got to put in the password. Might not have worked. Okay. Cisco, there we go. We want to show frame relay map. Whoops. Okay. So 1 and 3, this is router 4. It is connected to router 1 and 3. All right. So we're going to show IP route. And this gives us our, we can see that we're directly connected to 8 and 12. So we're going to ping each one of those. Whoops. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I just need to wait now and see what that did. Okay, that was a boo-boo, and took a minute to come back to me. So ping 10, 0, 1, 8. And as I just said, I don't understand why this is going to 9, to and from 9. So that's a little confusing, and I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know how to ask the question. And then the other one was 12, so 0. Stink, I did it again. My problem is that I hit the enter key here. Okay. 0, 1, 12, and ping. Okay. So super. Okay. Now we're going to enable and configure SSH. So what we're going to do is config, and instead of doing the whole word terminal, a shortcut is just config T. That puts us in config mode. So we're going to name, give it a host name, IP, domain name, cisco.com, and then because I don't understand how they can all be named the same thing. I'm naming them their router name. Alright. Then the RSA keys must be set up. So crypto key generate RSA. And it tells us that we want to have a modulus of 1024. It says OK. Non-exportable. All right. Then we go into using the username, which I had username admin. I had some difficulty with before, but now I know how to do it. It has been enabled. Ooh, SSH has been enabled. And we're going to do the version number. So we put in IP SSH version 2. Seems to be happy with that. And now we are going to disable the telnet. So we use these right here. So line VTY 04. No transport input all. Transport input SSH. Login local and end. Configured from console to console. We save by writing copy, running config, start up config. It asks us a silly question and we put it up to start up config. Okay. So this takes us to all of this. Okay, one of the things I need to do is go back on 2. We're going to put 4 right there. On 2, I didn't set up the RSA here. So we're going to have to go to enable Cisco config. That didn't work. Gotta spell it right. These little letters are too small for these old eyes. Okay, config, and then we want to crypto key generate RSA, the 1024. Okay. So I think that might work. Oh, now let's do the version here, because it was telling me that it couldn't do that version because it didn't have enough space or something, which I didn't understand. I had skipped a. So SSH version 2 has been enabled. Okay, so we should be dandy. So let's go ahead and check our results. Activity is incomplete. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it doesn't like those domain names that I named them. It doesn't like that I put the numbers there because I did that for each one. So let's go back and check that out. So for 2, let's see, go back up here to domain name. Okay, so therefore configure the domain name with the IP domain name, IP domain name cisco.com. Okay. Oh, we went up to 89% there. All right, so on 3, Enable Cisco config T IP. Well, see, if you just use this a little bit, you learn something, like how to spell. Ooh, that made me happy, 92. All right. And number 4. Well, let's see, we're already in exec. So let's go into config IP domain name cisco.com. Okay, so I'm still missing something. So we're going to check our results. Okay, SS version for router 3 is incorrect. So let's go back to router 3. Let's close that. Go to router 3. So that's something that we would do in the config. And what we want to do is this right here, configure the version. So we're just going to go to IP. It's a good thing these things don't have to be done in order. Version 2. Yay! And my completion is 100%. Yeehaw! So I think I'm hung up a little bit on the fact that things have to be done in order, but evidently they're not. They don't have to be. The other thing that kind of throws me with this is, like I said before, I want to put something in and then I want it to say yes, that's good, or no, that's not good, and it doesn't really come back to me that way. I suppose the more that I would use the CLI command line interface, the more I would understand it and not expect it to talk back to me and give me a happy face when I've done something wrong. So yeehaw, it's only taken me an hour and a half to do this. Total points 28, completed items 28, and required items 28. I hope you have enjoyed this fine adventure and had fun coming along with me. So have a great day. Thanks for a great term. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.